Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Hertzbrand Farms. Guess what we're doing? We're replanting beets because it was so fun to do it the first time, we're gonna do it again. Woohoo! Okay, but for real, these beets were planted, what was it? It's about 3 weeks ago. So they've had some time, they've been watered, they've had some time to grow. There's been some heat units on them. Things were looking good, but then last week we had about 2 different mornings that got a low temp of about 26 degrees. Now that happened when the dirt was wet and right after we watered, and it wasn't good. Not good. So we've been in this situation before where we're right on the edge. We're like, okay, should we replant? Should we not? We're not sure what to do. What's the goal? What's the plan? And we ended up regretting the fact that we didn't replant that year. So let's, come on camera, see if this camera will pick this up. Here's what we got going on here. Actually, I'm gonna flip you around so that I can see what you see and make sure that we're seeing the same thing. Okay, so right here, that is a sugar beet. That guy is alive and well, okay? And we got another one right here. That guy's alive and well. But here's where the problem is. We should have another one right here. See that? Can you see it? Shadows are kind of in the way and all that. But there's a little guy right there. That little guy right there. Okay, so what we're seeing is that beet might be okay, but throughout the field we're seeing little sugar beets like that should be coming up, and we've been watching it for the last 4 or 5 days. That little guy should be okay, but there's thousands, I mean millions in this field. But like when we do our stand count, which means we're counting how many beets come up in the field, and when we do our stand count and then we come back 2 days later and this guy should be poked out of the ground, it's not. Now you could say, well, you're in dry, but down in the roots there's moisture down there. So it's not a problem with it being dry. I think they just got frozen. They just stopped. They lost their vigor. See, and what's crazy is you got, that's a weed right here. Cut that guy out. What's crazy is you got those little beets that are trying to come up and they're not making it. And then you have a beet like this, which just is thriving. It's doing awesome. So something about the timing of when it came up, and sugar beets are notorious for not coming up evenly. So yeah, okay, so this is a great example right here, okay? So we got this sugar beet here, another one poking out here, another one here, another one here, and that looks really good. And then we got another one here, but then we have this guy. I don't think that guy's gonna make it. And then we have a big skip here where it doesn't look like there's anything, and there should be something in here. And then we got another guy, and then a skip, and then another guy, and then a real big skip, and this whole field is like that. In fact, this field, so back in the day, these fields used to be flood irrigated and there was ditches running everywhere. And with flood irrigation, you have to go with the contour of the ground. And this, I mean, although it was pretty flat, it's not flat enough to go clear through the half mile doing flood irrigation. So this field used to be, if I remember what my dad said, I was never around for that flood irrigation. I want to say he told me it was somewhere around like 12 different fields, a bunch of small little fields, just ditches running everywhere. So the point I'm getting at here is this field has been scraped, it's been leveled, There are hundreds of different types of dirt throughout the field because of contours, because of flood irrigation, because of ditches that were put in and pulled out. So we're really seeing a difference on our stand counts based on different kinds of dirt. So I don't know if this is true for all scenarios and for all crops, or I don't know if this is true, what I'm saying here, but my theory is the darker dirt is warmer and the darker dirt does better. Now, our problem is we have a lot of white dirt in this field, and the really white colored dirt is stays a lot cooler. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's my personal thoughts, and I think that there's something to it. I'm just not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So we are replanting. A couple things about replanting. It's not fun. It's not good. You got to buy the seed twice. Sugar beet seed is expensive. It's a necessary evil sometimes. With the sugar company that we are a part of, it's a co-op, and to make the playing field even, level for everybody within the co-op, we own shares, and the shares are equated to a acreage. And so however many shares you own, that's how many acres you can grow. Now, if you don't grow your acreage, you're penalized for that because it's a co-op. Because that's kind of unfair that if you don't grow your crop, but the other guy's growing 100% of his, but the company has a contract to sell so much sugar, you get what I'm... It's a chain reaction. There we go. All right. I'm struggling with words today. It's a chain reaction. So if I don't plant my crop, but my crop was contracted out for the sugar produced, then the other guys are getting dinged for it because they couldn't sell all the sugar, and so then it's a chain reaction. So part of the co-op, you have to grow all of your beets up to a certain date. Now, if you're freezing clear up into June, I don't know what the date is, but there is a date, and I believe it's somewhere in June, that if you are losing your crop clear up until June, you can maybe waive that, but don't quote me on that either. I don't fully understand that yet. Maybe I should. We've never got to that point, so I've never had to understand it. So, replant sugar beets. Another challenge that comes with replanting sugar beets is, thank goodness for GPS, because we've had to do this without GPS before, back in the day. But we want these planter boxes to be right there on the same exact row, because if we don't, as the sugar beets grow, there are still live ones. Like I showed you out in the field, there are still live ones out there, and they're gonna stay alive. This planter will not rip them out because the opening discs are just slicing a line. They're not really throwing dirt. And so when the previously living sugar beets continue to grow, but they're like off the row, like an inch or two, and then the new ones that we plant are on the new row, essentially. When we come back to harvest, it's hard because you'll have a sugar beet growing out the side just a little bit. You'll have one in the middle, and sometimes maybe the next one that used to be or was growing originally and still is growing, from the first planting, maybe the next one is pushed over the other side just because of the way it got hit by the opening disc on the planter. So then when we come to harvest, it's hard to find that exact line, and so we start slicing beets, and then you start thinking, oh no, I'm off the row, because the harvester, and we'll get into that later this fall, but the harvester uses discs that are just essentially squeezing the sugar beet and pulling them out of the ground. So it can create issues when you replant as well. Some people will just come through and do some light tillage to rip out everything so there's not a row. This planter does really good for us. Our GPS system and our planter has done really good, and it stays on the row pretty well. There's the occasional little wobble, but it's not enough to change our whole program. So anyways, yeah. Replanting sugar beets. It's so much fun. Oh, another thing. That pivot over there. So we went to turn it on this morning because we got to get that water on. I've already planted that half of the field, and that pivot's going to walk around and water and follow me basically. Yeah, our pump, no bueno, not working. I wish I could go over there and show you, but I got to get this done. So we're thinking maybe the bearing's out on the electric motor that runs the pump, or the pump is plugged with something in the, yeah, I'm really struggling with words today. What is that called? The impeller. Yeah, there might be something plugging it, but it's not looking good. So the guys are over there pulling the pump, and then either replacing it or cleaning it out. We'll see. We have an extra pump laying around, thank goodness. It comes in really handy, especially because today's a Saturday, so the guys that would be doing the work on the pump wouldn't be available. So it's a lovely day. It's a beautiful day in paradise. That's what it is. But yeah. I mean, thankfully we're not too late. We're doing okay. We're gonna lose some yield on here. Is what it is, but we're not going to lose that much. So, we're going to keep on planting. We got about 35, 40 acres left, and yeah, spuds are done. That's a good feeling. The ground that we're going to do corn on, it's getting worked up, so that's good. In fact, you can see it right there. So just right there, kind of that darker dirt, that's because manure's been spread on there. So the manure's been spread, and we're gonna plant corn over there. And Miguel was there last night running the disc ripper, trying to work that manure in to the ground. So a lot of stuff happening. Once again, it's springtime. That's how it works. So anyways, we're gonna keep going. This is a beautiful day though. Yesterday was miserable, it was windy. Almost done with our replant on these beets. And then we can move on to other things that really need to be done as well. I'm sure glad tomorrow's Sunday. We take Sundays off, except for water. We still move our water, and unless there's some sort of emergency. But yeah, I'm ready for the weekend. Loading up GPS lines because we're almost done here with the field. The wind's starting to pick up. I don't know if you can see it over there. The pivot's on already on this field. We have turned it on. It's running. Beautiful day here in southern Idaho. The cellar, we're gonna go check that out after here. They just started hauling potatoes out of our cellar, and so far so good. Those potatoes look pretty good. I'm excited to see what happens there, and the grade that they get. Because yeah, the grading could be pretty rigorous, and I didn't say this out loud, but the grading of the potatoes, it's amazing how much they follow the market. And I think it's probably that way with all vegetable crops that are grown. It's like when the markets are way high and they really need the supply, all of a sudden you can bring anything in and the grade's going to be good. When the markets are low and all of a sudden they have a surplus of what they need. Did I say surplus earlier? I don't remember what I said. Anyways, when they have a surplus, it's amazing how it doesn't matter how good your spuds are. They are not going to make very good grade. In this neck of the woods, we call that market blight. All of a sudden they'll find reasons why they don't need your potatoes because the market says that. Is what it is. it happens. That probably happens in a lot of other industries as well, not just farming. Sometimes us farmers will get the mentality that we're really picked on. But, I mean, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what other industries are like that. I'm trying to remember who said it. I saw it on somewhere. Housing. Housing is very similar. The market's only as good as, or the selling price is only as good as the market is. So they're price takers. Anyone that builds a house and they're building spec homes or I don't know all the terminology, anything like that. But yeah, they can always sell a house for what the market tells them it is. And like we saw in 2020 and through COVID, and then the housing jumped there. It didn't matter what the quality was. When you need a house, it doesn't matter. They just wanted all the houses. Now I feel like the market's on a downward trend, and I don't know economy. I don't know stuff like that. I'm just spewing out words here, but it feels like now that the housing trend, the demand is a little less because the price went so high, and it seems like quality has become more of an issue, or a noticeable issue, because, well, I'm not paying that if the quality's not there, right? So, anyway, that's my opinion. Same thing happens with farmers. But yeah, let me know of other industries that are price takers and they can't really set their own price. They just have to take what it is. Housing, farming, that's about like all I can think of at the moment. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, we're gonna finish this up and move on and go look at the potato cellar, see how we're doing there. Then we gotta go check some water and see what's happening on a couple different fields, and then we will we got a wedding reception to go to tonight for my youngest brother, the last one of us to get married. So brought the planter back to the shop. We're gonna hopefully no beets freeze anymore. Anyways, we got to take those these boxes off, open them up, get into the seed meter. That's where the disc is, or the plate, the seed plate is. Got to pull those out because those are for sugar beets, and then put on the ones for corn, because we're going to start planting corn next week. And then we got our baler in here. We got to get working on that. We've got to get that potato, the picking table for potatoes. We got to get that out of here. Man, there's a lot of stuff to do, and it feels like we're not accomplishing anything right now. It just feels like things are piling up and getting worse. All right, we're at the potato cellar. But it looks like they're done hauling spuds out for the day. So this is what the machine looks like that gets the potatoes out. There's a belt here and a little scoop, and the potatoes, they just drive this in. It's got wheels back here. They drive it a lot like a skid steer. The guy sits on that seat, pushes it, drives it forward, pushes it in the pile. The pile of potatoes falls onto the belt, and that belt is telescoping here so he can move. And it also swivels, and then it hits the piler and fills up a truck. But let's go into the cellar over here. Let's go look how far they made it. Also, we need to check and see if they started this back up. So this is the panel that controls, and they did. That panel controls temperature, humidity, all sorts of stuff inside the cellar. Fan speed, we got big old fans that are right up above me. Can't see them here, but they blow air into the plenum, which is in here. Blows air down here, and then fills up the duct with a T. Those are culvert pipes that go through the bottom of the pile of potatoes, and it blows air through the pile of potatoes and humidity and anything else that is needed to climate control the pile of potatoes to keep them edible. Yeah. So we're just gonna climb up the stairs here so we can look right up here on top of this pile and see how far they made it. So here's a pile of potatoes. That is roughly, let me think here. How many pounds of potatoes? It's roughly 5 million pounds of potatoes right here. Yeah, they made a pretty good dent in it. So you can see right down there, that's where they use the scoop. And the potatoes just, you can tell, have kind of fallen down. That gives you a little perspective of how tall that pile of potatoes is. I need to measure it sometime. I don't really know how tall it is. I'm gonna say 20 to 25 feet tall. Anyways, they look great. They are looking good. Hopefully they grade out well. So some of the things they're looking for when they grade the potatoes, because these are processed grade, they're going to French fries. A big thing is color, because when you get your McDonald's French fries, you want that good color, that golden brown, but you don't want black spots on it. So color is key. Also, you don't want it too dark. People don't like dark fries. It's amazing how much of our food, our whole food system is all based on visuals. Not quality, I mean quality, but literally everything's based on visuals way more than it based on just the fact that it's good still. It is what it is. People don't like their food to look weird, which is funny because food looks weird, just in general. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyways, it's what I know. So, anyways, unfortunately we can't show you them loading out in real time, but I'm sure we'll find a time. We'll find a day that they're doing that. So now we gotta go back to the shop. We got some guys putting together Certaset, which is plastic irrigation. We gotta go get them some new gaskets and O-rings and see if they need anything else. So we're setting up some Certaset is what we call this. And it is a plastic sprinkler. Come over here. This is in some winter wheat. This winter wheat looks pretty good, especially for not having any water yet. We're a little late to it. I'll show you what this is. So this is plastic 3-inch pipe here. And we're used to using aluminum all the time. And it's pretty cool. There's just like this little zip tie looking guy that goes around a groove and locks these pipes together, and then has the standpipe and the sprinkler up on top. And the way we hook this up is really nice. Instead of packing every pipe individually out here through the field, there is a guy on the tractor over there. He's hooked onto the end of the line, and then we put together all the pipes here on this end. They're going to get some more right now, but we put the pipes together on this end, hook everything up, and then drag the whole line through the field. And it's a form of solid set, so it will not move throughout the year. It will just stay here until this crop is done. And then we'll pull it off and store it and bring it back. So pretty nice. It does take a little bit of labor, but it's amazing how durable this pipe is. Anyways, it's worked really well for us. So we got just a little 13-acre field here to do, and then on to other irrigation. So they're going to get a pile of pipe that's over here in a stack. It was pulled off the field last fall, and so we could store it out of the way and work the ground. The other nice thing about this pipe is when we are doing potatoes, or even on my pumpkins, potatoes and pumpkins have a lot of vines that will wrap around your solid set pipe that sits there all year. And with this, we just take off those little stand pipes, those pipes that are coming up, take those off, and then we can hook on a tractor on the end of the field and just drag all of those pipes through the vines and everything else without breaking pipes, surprisingly. Because with the aluminum, we would break them trying to lift them up because they're 40-foot pipe, and as the vines are holding on to the aluminum pipe, it makes them really heavy, and then you try to lift without cutting the vines, then you end up breaking pipe apart. So that's another added benefit, is we can just drag it pretty much under the vines and they stay together, and we can unhook them exactly opposite of how we hook them up. Drag them to the end of the field, unhook them there, hook on another pipe, drag the rest of the line, and do that multiple times. Works really well. All right, I'm gonna go help these guys load up the pipe on the pipe trailer. Last stop of the day, we've got to check a pump system here. This is a new pump system that we just put in this spring, and it is feeding off this ditch, and we're just checking to make sure. Let's get that weed cleaned out of there. We got to make sure that we're not getting too much over the edge of here on that overflow on those boards. Because that ditch continues on and will flood out our neighbor. I think we're doing okay. I'm gonna give him a call and see if he's looked at it lately, but I think we're doing okay on that. Anyways, yeah, this is a new pump system that we have installed this year. That's because this field, the two, what was happening here, it got split up, and so we had to come in with our own pump system to be able to run this farm. But it looks really good. It looks like things are working well. The pump is quiet and smooth. Main line, everything's good. Wheel lines look good, got good pressure. And that wheat looks really good. Really good. Nice and dark green. So, anyways. Okay, well, thanks for watching my video. I hope next week goes better. Hopefully all the beets survive. I don't think we have any more cold weather coming. It's been a week. It has been a week. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you like what you're watching, hit that subscribe button. Gotta make sure I don't run anything over here. Hit that subscribe button. Or the other buttons. I don't know, is there a notification bell? Honestly, I don't watch that much YouTube. I don't know what those buttons are. And if you don't want to hit them, don't hit them. It's your choice. It's a free world. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But, yeah, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Whatever day it is that you're watching, I hope your day is wonderful. I hope you have good weather and good whatever. All right, goodbye.